What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Currently getting my money back on Tesla from what they took from me. Hmm. So I'm in short on Tesla. So anyone that's in from the Discord, I try to take this bounce here, right? So thought process came down to the linear regression, stop loss here, entry candle here. Never ran into our next kind of supply zone, and then it lost the linear regression. So that stops me out. I went short. Reason why I went short, obviously, if we couldn't hold this level as a support, it was going to come down, right? So currently got back the money I lost. They're not going to take they're not going to take the money from me, you know? It always comes back. Hmm. Probably going to look to sell half size here and see if it wants to continue down. You have NASDAQ futures. It kind of came into this little bit of support here. So this support area has acted a few times today. Initial pop, back tested the linear regression, pop, back tested linear regression twice. Nice 20 play short on the NQ last time. So looking at these two areas, this area, all is support here coming from the original breakout off the open. Again, reversal candlestick getting a little bit of a bounce. Market's going to start to slow down and get a lot more choppy as we get later on in the day. But I mean, if someone was to go long here, again, if someone was to go long here, you got about a 15, 16 point stop. You can use the current low wick as your stop loss and then just sit, right? Um, Again, a little bit of a 50-50 sided play, but I mean, if you just look at history, you know, every time we come down into this zone, we bounce, right? So it's not really until the triple Q start to close below this linear regression and start to take out this 200 on a 5 minute time frame is where they have a lot of room down. That could essentially turn the futures market from green to red. If we gave up this whole formation here, it would essentially be giving back anything that the Nasdaq has done today. If you look at the 1 hour time frame, we're kind of holding this, you know, declining 50-day moving average here. So you can see previous hours lows kind of grazed through them. So 15,300 would be probably my next, you know, area where I would be looking to get short on tech stocks right now, looking for that dead cat bounce. So below 15,300 has room into the 290s. Not a lot of room. It's not a lot of room to the downside. I think that the, you know, market's probably going to hold out from here, you know, and kind of just go back and forth in between the range, right? This last 20 play on Tesla was beautiful. Below 253, all the way down to 247. Hell of a play. Hell of a play. So if you look at Tesla from a macro kind of overview from like the daily chart, Tesla was rejected today at its 50-day moving average. Not good. Never a good sign when a stock is rejected at their daily 50-day moving average and starts to reverse. So Tesla, has room down to around 245 and a half, and anything below yesterday's lows of 243 to 240. We could be looking at a 240 price on Tesla next week. For the bulls, investors, you start to lose 240, 50, it's not going to be good, right? 234, 228 could be very, 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 very nasty. Very, very nasty. Tesla's had 2 times this week testing this 50-day moving average, and they can't seem to get it over. So anytime you see multiple rejection spots, if you just kind of look at the last time we closed over the 50-day moving average, the first time, right? It was on August the 29th. So we're currently sitting at the 8th. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of going sideways, right? I mean, do we notice that? Like Tesla's going sideways in this range. Whichever side it breaks out of is going to be violent. I'm not actually sure if it looks like it wants to go up. Even though this is a little bit of a flag pattern to the upside, I would love for Tesla to get up to the upside. But again, the bulls are not weak. There's not a lot of buyers in this tape to kind of take Tesla higher. We had that good bounce day yesterday that got confirmed today over 250, 260s into the 256s, which was a good little trade, but they gave it all back. They gave it all back. Same thing with Nvidia. If we start to lose this 50-day moving average on Nvidia, look out. Below 450 and a half. Okay, below 450 and a half is definitely something that I would be looking at into next week. So 450 60s into next week, I'd be looking at 444. So those Apple calls, playing a little bit of a bounce here on Apple. Apple has rejection on the daily here at the 20-day moving average. I like the calls here off the 50. Looks good. A little bit of supply here in the 92s. Let's see if I can tail you on this Apple play. A little late on it, but let me see if I can tail you on this. I like that setup as well. We do got that Bollinger Band sitting here at 179.90s. One-hour chart looks okay too. it's got a lot of space. What I would like to see is the Qs, right? I'd like to see the Qs hold this bounce spot, right? Hold this bounce spot. They don't necessarily need to go up, but I don't need them going down, right? So like if we can hold, if the Qs can hold, they're pushing up again here. So again, we're just looking at essentially a nice little wave, right? Like we went up, we were down, or up, or down, or up, or down. If we can get this wave up and maybe potentially get a breakout over this at some point in time today, again, a little far stretched, but if we can get that kind of action here, we can maybe get these Apple contracts to move a little bit. Maybe we can take a couple of bounce plays off the floor for the options guys here. 5-minute time frame, setting up a little bit of a 20 play here on the Qs, but we need to get over the 50. So if you want to play to the top of the range, we'd be looking at what? Something maybe around 180.13, maybe 180. It's just this Bollinger Band's gonna be trouble. I'd like to get the hourly chart over 180. I just don't know if there's enough time in the day for this to happen though. Because if it starts to roll back down the other way, I mean, obviously we'll get out of these calls, but if it starts to roll the other way, it just looks like a bear flag off the bigger, kind of looking at the last few days for the breakdown to start coming back down. To be honest, guys, I mean, even though we're looking to take longs and even though there is long setups, my honest opinion, this market's going to continue to go down for probably about another week to week and a half, 2 weeks. Typically September is the worst month in the stock market as far as things going higher. It just is. You can pull up the seasonal chart. September's is always a down month. Like if you just look at the start of September on Apple, look at the decline. So fuck. Sometimes I hate looking back at it. It's because it's like that, right? It's like you should have just as a trader just start of September, seasonality, year over year over year over year, market is down in September 1st. I don't care where the stock price is at. Just short it. Go 30 days out on your expiration, load up and just sit. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it either. But that's the thing though, right? I mean, it always sounds good, It always sounds good. Hey, we should have just shorted in September and just walked away and came back a week later, 2 weeks later, and made a shit ton of cash, but it always sounds better. I don't like this Apple play. Fucking shit. Qs are rejected again at the 50-day moving average on the 5-minute time frame. I'm just gonna give the Apple, you know, the close under the 20 before I kick this out. But I don't really like the way that it's trading, to be honest. This 451.16 probably next week on the video looks really good. I'm just gonna put this into the watch list now. That way we can kind of draw eyes to it. But the daily chart, you know, if we were to lose this 50-day moving average, lose yesterday's lows, it's got room down to 445. That looks really good for next week. Let's kind of just keep that on watch for next week. Same thing with Tesla too. If Tesla starts to really give up 245, has room down to 243 and then 240. Tesla looks like shit. The market's not really doing anything. It's a lot of sideways action on this Apple. You know, first 30 minutes was the whole move. Tesla's still continuing to go down. We could have just sat short in this thing all day off the initial spike. Ugh. Anything else out there even look remotely promising? That if Meta holds here today, like if Meta holds here underneath today's lows on Meta, 298.82 has room to 295. 298.82 on Meta for next week. 298. It might lose it today, to be honest. It's the 5-day moving average. It's just resting there. 298.95. The only reason why I don't like that Apple today is the daily chart is right here at the 20-day moving average. And there's not enough time in the market today, nor enough juice on the bull side for me to see this thing busting through today. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to bust through, right? Down, boom, rejection, boom. That's what more so looks like to me. I just don't see it like punching up because Apple, for one, doesn't even move that fast to begin with, and two, this is more of like a swing play that potentially we kind of fill this gap, right? Fill that gap, but I'm not swinging shit long. I'll tell you that much right now. This market is a long ways away from me wanting to swing long on anything. Let's kind of draw our own supply and demand. Let's kind of see what's going on here. We'll start with the Nasdaq first. So I've got my top price today. So my top resistance, that was that initial high we put in. I'm going to make that red. This 200-day moving average is also acting as support here. That first dip that we did around 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time into these pre-market highs here seems to have held, right? Multiple times. So, just letting my eyes do the majority of the work for me here and not trying to stress myself out. I have a 200-day moving average. I've also got these wicks and price action that's kind of been sitting in here. So we're within a range, right? We're within a range. I'm going to make this green. Just, let me understand that, hey, buyers have stepped in here, but if we lose this range, potentially could be going down. It would also be a loss of the 200 SMA, which could be a breakdown, turning the Nasdaq futures from green to red. So maybe I wouldn't be opposed to taking the short positions on that. But essentially, it's just trading with inside of a range today. It would be nice if this range held and then it just kind of does this into the close. That would be ultimately, a good spot where we can try to make some money either on the option side or if you're on the futures side of things. But with the price action moving this slow, it's a little bit frustrating. I mean, if you look at the range here on Apple, so we have this double top here on a 5-minute time frame, right? So if I still kind of mark this out, this is going to be our resistance. Top of that being around 180 and some change. And this whole area here looks like it's going to be our demand, right? Just letting my eyes do the work for me. Let's kind of give us a little bit of a range here. Bottom of that range being around 179.20. So if we were to lose 179.20s on Apple, I would look for the short position there, just due to the fact that this support that has been holding would now probably turn into resistance. So like if Apple was to do something like this, I could see it coming back down into like 178, right? Obviously a little bit of a pit stop here at this low wick, but and that's also the pre-market highs. That last 20 play on the Nasdaq went for around 30 points. I wonder if anyone in the room took that. Depends on which it depends on which Austin, you took the question off, but it depends on which prop firm you're going with. So if it's something like Apex, you have to treat it as a scalp. You have to treat it as a scalp account, meaning you can't allow it to, you know, go up, put you in profit and come back down, because they have that intraday trailing threshold. So you need to be trying to target, like, you know, 10 points on the NQ, 12 points on the NQ, just get the hell out, look for the next setup. If you're on something like Top Step, something that doesn't have an intraday high watermark threshold, you can kind of let these things go a little bit longer. I'd try to target like anywhere between, you know, 15, 20 points per move, and then kind of wait for the next setup. Again, I tell everyone I definitely recommend not trading mini contracts. I would trade the MNQ. And this is coming from a guy who has Apex accounts, and I have Top Step. Yeah, but you're self imploding for what reason? Because you're oversized. Or you're getting too greedy and you're trying to rush the process because you're like, I made $1,500, I just need to make 1,500 more, and I'm gonna get to the end of the pot of gold. It doesn't really work that way. Every day is different. You're not gonna make the same amount today that you made yesterday, and vice versa. So you have to really take your time, right? You have to take your time. If you're getting into a feeling of where you're trying to rush the process, then go buy another account and go trade another account. If you want to keep trading, that's the problem with a lot of people, is they want to keep trading because they want to make money to pass. But see, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what stop hunting means. That's like a social media term. Like, no one's hunting your stops. You know, no one's hunting your stops. It's just the NQ is volatile. The NQ candles can be anywhere between 40 points and 15 points on a 5-minute time frame. So understand this. Trading is all probabilities. You have a strategy that allows you to have an edge, okay? That edge, if followed correctly, should put you into profitability over a series of trades. No two trades are going to correlate with the previous trade. So for example, if you take a setup and let's say you make $500 on that setup, that doesn't mean that the next time, if that setup works, that you're going to make another $500. Maybe it's only good for $100 and then comes back down on you. Now the difference is on the NQ, you know, let's say the winning trade that you took, let's say the stop loss was 10, 15 points, and the next trade, you know, the candle was a little bit larger and the stop loss was somewhere around 30 points. So of course, if you make money on the smaller move, the next trade that stops you out is a bigger move. You're going to be back at break even or even down a little bit. I would definitely recommend, you're trading a $50,000 Top Step account. There's no chance in fucking hell that I'm trading mini contracts on that. There's no chance. You lose 2-3 trades, your account is blown. When over a series of 20 trades, maybe you're going to lose 9 and you're going to win 11, but those 11 would have made you profitable. The only problem that you have is you're never going to get to the 20th trade because you're too sized. I have a $50,000 account with Top Step. I would trade no more than 5 micro contracts, and the sweet spot should be 2 to 3. And that's just the name of the game, because you have a $3,000 limit that you can lose. So you're not trading a $50,000 account. You're trading a $3,000 account with, or excuse me, a $2,000 drawdown limit, right? You have a $2,000 drawdown limit on the 2,000, on the 50,000. So basically, you're trading a $2,000 account, you're trading minis that can stop you out, even like on one trade can stop you out for 800. Yeah, it's 1K a day. So 2,000 total, 1K a day. One trade essentially can take you out $800. If you do that 2 times, you're damn near done. It's like not even worth it to trade. And that's only taking 2 trades. Like that doesn't make sense. So what you have to do is you have to play micros. And if you don't, if you're the type of person that's going to look at it like, well, I only made $100 trading these 2 micro accounts or these 2 micro contracts, but if I was trading a mini, I would have made 800. Your mindset is already fucked up. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be doing these combines for a long time. You're going to waste a lot of money. You want to actually pass and you want to actually get to a payout, you know, focus on like taking $100 to $300 a day out of these accounts, playing micros, and if that's not enough for you, add another one. Top Step allows you to have 3 accounts. They're still only charging $50 an account, right? So go get 2 more accounts, make $100 on 3 accounts. That's $300, and your risk is now spread, and now you have no reason to trade minis. It's even if we look at this last candle, right, based on my setup here, this last candle on this short play here, let's say it didn't work, our stop loss would have been somewhere around 357, our entries around 338. We're looking at 22 points risk just to even allow the trade. So for example, look at it like this: when you go into a casino, and let's say you're going to play roulette and there's a $25 minimum, what does that mean? You have to put $25 on the table to even see if you have a chance of winning. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you have a 23 point risk that you have to put on the table to even see if you're going to win. So it's like just the cost of entry, right? You can't go to the movie theater without paying an entry fee. You can't go to a concert without paying an entrance fee, right? You know, whether you enjoyed the concert when you were there or it was a hell of a time, you won't know that until you pay the $500 to buy the ticket to go to the damn concert. So you have to pay the fee, which is getting into the trade here. Now you have an edge. It should provide you a little bit of a better probability to make money on the trade. However, if it doesn't work, right? If it doesn't work, you're going to be down on 22 points trading micros. I mean, you're going to be down $400 or $500. $400 or $500. So if you have a $1,000 kind of, they're going to cut you off, they're going to liquidate you for the day, you can essentially only lose 2 trades in that day. And you can essentially only lose about 4 trades over the course of your whole combine to even pass or fail. Doesn't make any sense. You have to tone it down. Nobody, and I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Top Step wants you to trade minis. Go out there and trade minis. You're going to continue to fail. Again, you might pass, but I'll tell you this, you're going to blow the account in 2 weeks. The whole industry of prop firms is built on you to fail. Top Step cutting down the amount of time it takes to get funded in half, cutting down the consistency rule from 50 to 30%. It's all built so you're more aggressive. It's all built so you take bigger trades. It's all built so you try to reach for a bigger profit. Do you like I'll just ask you a question off the top of my head, right? Off the top of my head for Austin. What would be sufficient enough for you on the day, like a win, to want to stop trading, right? To where if you won one particular trade or you took a few trades and you made how much money would make you stop trading on the day? How much? Right? Everyone has a number in their head. How much money is good to you? What do you think is a good amount of money to make in a day trading futures? Or anyone can answer it. No, he has a $1,000 drawdown on it. 500 to 1,000. I'll go sit down. Okay, so let's do the math, right? Let's do the math. let's call it 500 average. Let's call it 500 average. If you make $500 a day times 22 trading days, you're making $11,000 a month, right? You times that times 12 months in the year, that's $132,000, right? $132,000. That's what you're telling me. You want to make $500 a day, and I'm going low, right? I mean, if you were to, like, if you were to say, oh, $1,000, I'm done. There's 22 trading days in the month. That's $22,000 a month. Whoops, $22,000 a month times 12 months is $264,000. So you're telling me that on one $50,000 account where you only have a $2,000 drawdown limit, where you can only lose $1,000 in a day before you get liquidated for the day, that you're going to make $264,000, and that you would be comfortable with that? The goal is that expectation is not realistic at all. It's not realistic at all. And I don't care what anyone's going to tell you. I don't care what YouTuber you've watched. I don't care what person on Twitter is saying that they're making $10,000 a month. It's not fucking realistic. Like, you're not going to do that. You're just not going to. Can you get lucky and have a crazy month, right? Like, you can have a crazy month where the market's just running in and day out. Yeah, you're making a 500 here, 700 here, 300 here, 1,000 here. Sure. But to do that consistently for 12 months doesn't make any sense, because you're not going to be green for 22 days, right? You're not going to be green for 22 days. So let's say you're green 15 days. Well, what about the other 7 to 8 days? What are those losses going to be? Are they going to be bigger than 1,000? Are you going to take more than $2,000 of a loss, right? In risk of stopping yourself out? You want to know what's realistic? Look, I'm going to be completely honest. For someone to make $1,000 in a day for 22 trading days, or for that be a good number for them to stop, it sounds nice. Of course it does. Don't get me wrong, it does. But your traders on Wall Street are not even returning those kind of gains. They're just not. Even if you're quote unquote managing $50,000, which you're not, you're managing 2,000. Let's get it straight. But if you're managing $50,000, they're looking for like 2 to 3% return on investment per month, 1 to 2%, 1 to 3%, right? So if you really think about it, if you can pull $500 or $1,000, I'm not shitting you. If you can pull $500 or $1,000 a month off your $50,000 account, you're doing good. Now you may be thinking, well, that's not shit. It's not. Go get another account and do it again on another account. So if it takes you a week to make $500 on one account, have another account that you can do it on. You make $300-400. Now you're at 1,000. Go get another account. Go get another account. I don't really care how many accounts it takes you to have, but the thing is, I'm trying to tell you, is you need to spread out the risk. Like, if you can pull $1,000 in a month, you're doing better than 95% of traders out there. That return is better than 95% of traders out there. So if you look at $50 a day times 22 trading days is $1,000. What's more realistic? Trying to make 500 or trying to make $50? We could have made fucking $50 in one fucking trade today. This trade here at 7:50 in the morning, 15,314 went all the way down to 15,296. That's $50 there on like 3 or 4 micro contracts. There, you're done. Bye. Go home. Go trade your other account. Because if you look at the math, if you make $50 and you hang it up on that one account, but let's say you have 3 accounts, and let's say you're able to make $50 on 2 accounts, that's $100 in a day. It's all about compounding, right? So it's all about compounding. So if you look at, if you can make $100, right? If you manage to make $100 and you call it quits, times, you're not going to win every day, but let's say you win 16 days out of 22, that's $1,600 a month. Okay? That's $1,600 a month. So if you times that times 12 is an extra $20,000 a month or a year, right? Off of one account. at making $100 a day. That's realistic. Trying to make $500 is not realistic. You're going to lose more accounts than you're ever going to take a payout from. That's just to be completely honest with you. Because let's say for example, you do get funded and you take a couple payouts, and let's say you take $2,000 or $3,000 out of Top Step. You go load up $1,000 into a personal futures brokerage, and you can make another $500 to $1,000 there, and you're making $1,000 on Top Step. You're making $1,000 over here. Your risk is spread out. Your expectations are realistic. You're compounding that account. It's growing month over month. That's realistic. These guys who are out here playing 5, 10, 15 mini contracts, making $3,000 in minutes, is not realistic. One trade, my friends, is going to completely kick you out. One trade. You're gambling. Like, it's gambling. It's not the way that this business works. It's not the way that this business works. It's not how you grow an account. Now, don't get me wrong. You can go on a string where you're winning, and yes, the wins are $300, $400, $500, $600. You know, you can definitely scratch your way. Up. But I mean, David was in the room yesterday. David, you're making hundreds of dollars a day trading micros, yes or wrong? Like, you're making hundreds of dollars a day trading micros. So just because I say $50 a day, you know, is $1,000 a month, or $100 a day is, you know, a couple $1,000s a month, doesn't mean that you're only going to make $50. You might have some trades where you make 200. But what I'm saying is, if you have it in your mind to where you're okay with shutting it down over 50, over 100, and coming back tomorrow and doing it again, what's wrong with taking an extra $1,500 a month? $1,500 a month will pay for one of my car payments and insurance. Done. Okay. $1,500 a month will allow me to go to a handful of nice restaurants. I'm talking nice restaurants, eating a big fucking ribeye, bone-in ribeye. I mean, having drinks, doing whatever. $1,500 a month will do that. $1,500 a month will pay for my cable bill. It'll pay for my streaming services. It'll pay for my cell phone bill. It'll put gas in my car every month. Right? $1,500 is a lot of fucking money. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you need to just strive for, $1,000 a month, you know, but what I'm saying is, in the beginning, it is. And if you don't have that mindset, especially if you're on the prop firm route, you will fail. Over and over and over. And the Top Step will keep taking your money. And you want to know who's going to be making money? Is the dude on the other side who's betting against you. A trader like myself, a trader like David, for example, right? And I don't know if David's even on a prop firm or not, but I'm just saying, a trader like that who's looking to take these small wins. All they're doing is taking those activation fees. They're taking those sign up membership fees from you. They're not taking the money from the actual market. You think that Top Step is booking you to where you're actually trading the market? No. You're in a sim account, you're in a demo account, and the only person you're taking money from is the other dumbass on the other side of the trade, who is blowing accounts and resetting. That's where the profits come from. Because I can guarantee someone who if Top Step on the $50,000 account is giving you $2,000 of drawdown before they kick you out of the combine, if you personally loaded up $2,000 into like an Iron Beam account or an AMP Futures account, or a TraderVate account that's not attached to a prop firm, would you be playing one mini contract with the risk of losing $500, $800 on one trade? That essentially means in two trades, which can happen in the same day, you can personally blow your $2,000. Gone. So think about it in the same way. If I put $2,000 into a fresh futures brokerage, there's no way in fucking hell I'm trading one mini where, you know, I'm going to be risk of being auto liquidated on one particular trade. After you take 100 base hit trades, 100 of them, 200 of them, 300 of them, and you take your small account from 2,000 to 4,000, from 4,000 to 6,000, you get over 10,000, you get over 15,000, you get over 20,000. Now the stress level comes down. You're not really worried about making these big home run gains. You're just focused on a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. And next thing you know, you're doing this on a day in and day out basis. Take the average salary, right? Like, for example, what is like the minimum, what is like minimum, or like what's like minimum what people make, like where you guys are from? Like, I know out here it can be like 17 to like $25 an hour. So even if I go high, right, I go $25 an hour and I times that times an 8-hour workday, that's $200 a day, right? And let's say you work 20 days in a month, that's $4,000 a month. That's $4,000 a month, right? So if you times that times 12, you're talking about $48,000 a year. I would say that this is an average salary across the United States, right? An average salary across the United States. So what I'm trying to say is that if you can take $1,000 to $2,000 a month trading, you're essentially making half of what everyone else is doing, and you're not doing shit but clicking a few buttons a day. And as that adds up, you just slowly increase by one contract. You slowly increase by one contract. So if you really imagine that on one Top Step account, a $50,000 account, if you can make $1,000 and call it quits, and then add another account where you make $1,000 and add another account where you make $1,000, that's $3,000 a month. You're making close to $45,000 a year, right? I'm not saying that anyone can live off of $45,000 a year. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But what I'm saying is that's a good fucking stepping stone to start growing it up to where now you can make $100,000 a year or $150,000 a year and start loading money up into your personal account. But if you look to try to just make $10,000 a month off one single prop firm account, you will fail. Guarantee it. Come back in 60 days and tell me how many prop firms you failed. That's the harsh reality. That's the harsh reality that people don't want to look at. You don't want to accept that as a trader, as a human. We want to believe that we can come in here and pick this fucking market off for $1,000 a day. You want to know the only way you can pick this market off for $1,000 a day is you have a big fucking trading account and you don't give a shit about losing $1,000 a trade. So you lose $1,000 a trade, you make it back, you make $1,800, now you're up $800, now you're done. Because you don't give a shit. Because you don't give a shit. Everyone has an emotional attachment to money. That'd be like for myself on the account size that I'm working at. If I fucking lost $1,000 or $1,500, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Right? But like I've told the guys in my room, I'm trading on an account that's got $75,000 in it. So if I lose $1,000, if I lose $1,000, you think I'm going to give a shit about losing $1,000? No, because it's going to come back around to me. It's going to come back around to me. But if I was trading on an account that had fucking $2,500 on it and I lost $1,000 on one play because I'm trying to be some rock star trader, I'm going to be fucking pissed. And especially if you guys are going on the prop firm route, if you have $100,000 in accounts, right, which could be 250s, it could be one $100,000 account. If you can make 2 to 3%, you're fucking golden. Your average Wall Street trader is taking whatever amount that they're allocated and trying to hit 2 or 3%. They're not trying to hit fucking 50%. 2 to 3 fucking percent. Do you want to know why they make so much money? Because they're trading fucking millions of fucking dollars. Millions of fucking dollars. So what's fucking 1% on $1 million fucking dollars, right? And we have the average retail trader trying to make 100% on a fucking $2,000 account. It doesn't make sense. You're trying to make fucking 1,000% off of a $2,000 drawdown limit. I'm still holding these apples, Biggs. Did you sell me a dud here? Hope you didn't sell me a dud. Still holding these fucking apples. Yeah, I know you told me you were out. Probably smart. Probably smart. I got small size here. Maybe a little lunch money, no Biggs? Maybe a little lunch money. Maybe I'll be able to afford a Jack and Coke or something, you know? You got Shopify, huh? What's Shopify doing? Off the bottom. How many did you take? 100 contracts? 1,000 contracts. Wow. Nice. 1,000 contracts and made 40 cents on them? Oh, 10. I thought you said 1,000. That's still good money, no Biggs? 40 cents on 10 of them? You gonna post those gains up in the Discord so everyone can get excited, Biggs? I like when you post those gains, Biggs. I like when you post the gains. Don't be hiding that shit, man. Bowl 30. Biggs. It's bowl 30 every 30 on the 30. You're on bowl number 6 since the open. Let's get your head right, Biggs. NASDAQ off the floor here. You can see our demand zone. We got the 200. We're holding this area here. We're kind of back in the middle of the range here. So nothing too crazy going on. If you are a futures trader and you guys follow my strategy, 15 330s was your entry. We're currently up 13 points. I would take profits. There it is. Look at Cody. Cody doesn't mess around. Cody's out there. Cody, you're one of the... You're also one of the guys out in Denver, no? Out in Colorado area? Five would be max, Austin. 5 would be max. Oh, you're an ATL. I thought you were one of the Denver boys. I was gonna say those Denver boys trying to give California a run for the money on the weed, on the marijuana business. 5 micros would be max. That would be max. Like I would take 5 contracts after the first hour of the day. I wouldn't take 5 contracts in the first 30 minutes of the day when the ranges are going to be bigger. I would start off trading 2 or 3, look to make like anywhere between $60 and $120 a piece, and then later on in the day I would look to take 5 when the market's moving a little bit slower and it's a little bit more managed, right? Because the strategy that I teach, 331 was the entry. It came all the way up to 342. That's 10 points. I would have scalped 5 contracts for 10 points, right? So if you're looking at that could have essentially been like a $70 win, $80 win in like 3 or 4 minutes. Boom. I'm going to take $70 here. I'm going to take $50 here. I'm going to take $30 here. I'm going to take fucking $40 there. Next thing you know, you're looking back at it and you're like, holy shit, I traded at 75% win rate today. And I made $300. That's how you do it. You don't look to, I'm gonna get long here, I'm just gonna hold it all day, and oh, it came back against me, now I'm down 500. No, take 80 bucks here, take $100 there, take fucking $40 here, take $20 there. I don't care. Just start taking money everywhere. Piece together a day, piece it together, piece it together. Oh yeah. Gotta get you out in California, man. You want to get the real gas. I don't care what these other states are doing. California still got the gas. Biggs doesn't even know. Biggs doesn't even know what real gas is. He's out there in Maryland. They still got that dirt, that dirt weed over there. South. I'm right. I'm actually right in the middle. I'm actually right in the middle. But I mean, yeah, all the fires coming from up north, so it makes its way down here pretty easy. Maybe about 3 or 4 hours away from where it's centrally located. But I mean, that considering that's close though. I mean, 3 or 4 hours away from some of the best, you know. Dog apple, dog. What part of California? I'm right here by Santa Barbara. Apple's a freaking dog. Should have got out with Biggs. Oh, okay. Nice. What the heck are you doing in ATL now, man? What are you doing out there? Work or something? Military guy? Or what took you out there? Wife or something? Andre, are you in apples? Might have to cut this thing. This thing's a dog. Yeah, Apple's getting ready to lose its previous 2 hours lows. I'm out of this thing. Wow. 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 What a joke. Okay, cool. Guys, what's breaking down? What's breaking down through previous hours lows? Tesla's going back down. Nvidia is confirming previous hours lows. We might have a little shot here on Nvidia. We might have a shot on Nvidia, guys. We might have a shot here on Nvidia. Yeah, so did I. I don't think I could sell them even if I wanted to, man. see if NVIDIA can test this 452.66. $452.66 would be my first price target on this NVIDIA. Yeah, I know. I only took 10 of them at 18 cents, and now they're worth fucking 4 cents. So those things are gone. Couple $100 loss there. But the NVIDIAs is gonna come back for me. The NVIDIAs will bring it back. $452.66 days lows on the video. 452. Guys, anyone on the futures? We broke below that demand zone. So what I would look at now is to see if this demand zone is going to act as a resistance. Andre, what's up with the bar extending the happy hours right there at your spot, Wagon Wheel? Extended it an hour. You seen that? I got the email. I got the email. An extra hour, you know. They need to expand the food happy hour menu, man. $2 off a plate. Come on. Charge fucking $22 a plate. Still 20 bucks. The beer is the good deal. That the 50% off on the beer is a good deal. I like that. Biggs, what Biggs? Your Shopify, buddy. Shopify came all the way back down. This is a big spot on Shopify short, guys. The 63.37. 63.37 for next week. 63.37 for next week. Short. Or today. The daily chart too. Look at the daily chart on Shopify, man. 63.36, 63.37. This has a gap to be filled all the way to 60s, Biggs. Throw on a little swing on that thing, no? Look at the daily. And the hourly. I would have liked it to bounce a little bit more today and then set this up for next week, but through 63.36. Uh-oh. 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 Oh. This day could be a wrap, no, boys? This day could be a wrap. What do you mean, Austin? Recommend to start as far as what? You want to know? You want realistically? I would trade 2 or 3 micros. Look to make $50. Anything over $50, consider it a home run. Do that 20 times. That's it. After you do that 20 times, then reevaluate your position sizing, move up, move down. 2 or 3 micros, aim for $50. If you make more than $50, stop on the day. And I would do that for 20 trades. So when you make 20 winning trades at $50, whether it takes you 30 trades to do it, whether it takes you 40 trades to do it, whenever you win 20 trades of at least $50, then I would reevaluate the situation. You have all the time in the world to pass the evaluation. There's no time limit. There's no time limit on when you're going to make money, but what it's going to do is it's going to build a foundation that's going to allow you to be comfortable when you do get into a funded account. It's going to allow you to have confidence because you've seen it so many times, and it's going to allow you to understand the way that the market moves. That's going to allow you that comfortability when you're in these trades, when you're trading larger size money. 2 to 3 micros, aim for 20 winning trades, $50 or anything over $50, stop. See if you even have the discipline to do that. That's where I would recommend to start. That'll be $1,000 win. That might take you a week. It might take you 2 weeks. It might take you a month. But when you get 20 winning trades of at least $50, then I would reevaluate your position sizing and learning how you can hold longer or cut trades sooner or whatever. But at least see how you do on 20 trades of making at least $50. And at least I would take profits at around 10 to 12, 10 to 15 points. I would just get out. Or hold a runner, but make sure you set your runner to break even. And work the same strategy. I don't really know what strategy you're working, but I would definitely work the same strategy. I wouldn't be buying all different types of setups. Kind of just, sit on one particular setup for 20 trades, aim to take that $50 profit, come back the next day, do it again. Come back the next day, do it again. 9 EMA with the 20 and the 200. Okay. So if we kind of just back test, are you using the 9 EMA to take profits, or are you using, to end your trades, or using the 20? Austin, are you in the room? Because people's names are different on YouTube and on Discord. Are you in my Discord, or you're not in the Discord? And if you're in Discord, what's your name in Discord? Oh, you're just on YouTube. Okay, so you're using the 9. But are you using the 9 to take your entries? Oh, you got to get in the room at some point in time. You're missing out. But are you using the 9 to take your entries? Or the 20? Okay. So for example, I'm going to go from the start of the day. First 5-minute candle sets up over the 9. You should have been in at 6:35 my time. 6:35 around 15,350. That runs up to a price of 15,371. So if you were aiming to take 10 to 15 points, you would have won this one trade here. Plain and simple. Second trade sets up at 7:30. Entry candle was at around 7:35-ish. That goes from 343 all the way down to 299. You should have made 10 to 15 points there. Second setup over the 9 is at 810. Entry price was 339. Let's call it 340 with slippage. Runs all the way up to a price of 369. You should have made 10 to 15 points here. Next trade sets up at 845. 343. Should have gotten in at 855. That goes from 336 all the way down to 323. Let's call this a break even or a stop out. Let's say you lost this trade. Next trade sets up at 925. 336 was your entry, drops all the way down to 309. You should have taken another 10 to 15 points here, and now we've been essentially chopping, and we just set up a new one. So that's at least 4 trades. That's at least 4 trades that you should have taken today. You should have lost one, won 3. You should have been done on a day. You would have probably been done after your second winning trade, though. And how did you do today? You're green today? Are you red today? Did you trade today? And I would focus on the first 2 hours only, to be honest. I wouldn't even mess around this late in the day, but red 200 because of what though? Like, why are you red? Like, when was your last trade? Are you red because you're holding too long and you're going green and then it's coming back against you and then you're turning red? Is that why you're red today? Yeah, agreed. So that's all it is. Just do like what I said to do. Like, trust me, it sucks and it's a slow process and it's boring, but that it's supposed to be boring. Like, take 10. Yeah, holding too long because you're holding too long because you're like, okay, it's working, and then I'm green, and then it's coming back a little bit. No, it's going to go back down or go back up, and then just take 10 to 15 points every setup you get. If you get 10 to 15 points, I don't care what it is. If it's 10 on the dot, if it's 11, if it's 14, if it's 15, if you get 10 to 15 points on your move, get out of the trade and look for the next setup. If you just would do that, like, that's what's so hard, like, for people to do. If you just do that, fuck, man, we would have made 10 points here, 10 points here. We would have lost on that one. It's pretty much a break even. We would have made 10 points here. We would have made 40 points. 40 points. So 40 points, even that's being modest. 40 points on, let's say, 3 micros, would have been like $200-300. Because you would be looking to average like 50 to like $40 to $60 a win. So if we took 40 to, let's call it in the middle, well, let's just call it 40 on the low end. $40 here, $40 here, $40 here. What is that? 40, 80, 120. We broke even on this one. So let's say we lost $25 here. We broke even on that one. We made another $40 here. So now we're back at 140. You would have made at least $150 on the day. Do that over and over and over and over and over. And that's on trading like 2 or 3 contracts. And even at that rate, it would take you 1 month to pass your eval. Probably sooner, because you'll have some trades where you're going to make more. Like, look at the 9 setup, right? That's coming right now. If we start to break below 279, not saying it's going to go, it's late in the day, but I'm just saying there would be a setup here. And I would focus on the first 2 hours of the day, to be honest. So between like 6:30 my time and like 9 a.m. That would put us right here. So we should have taken 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades. We would have been done. All winners. We would have missed the chop action. 3 winners. After you do that for 20 trades, go to 4 contracts. You do another 20 trades, go to 5. Do another 20 trades, go to 6. Until you get all the way up to 10, and then you can go to a mini contract, because your account should be padded after that. You should have profits in there. You should be not worried about 1 trade wiping you out. Work in blocks of 20, 40, 60, 80. Nobody got in on NVIDIA earlier. Huh. Okay. I'm just sitting here for no reason. The 452.66 is still the potential here. $452.66. 452.66 is a potential on the video. What did AMD do? AMD broke down, yeah. That spot at around 107.15 was a nice spot, down $1. Was that a previous hour low? I like that 10 a.m. candle breakdown. Maybe we come down to yesterday's lows at some point in time. That would be the next kind of support at around 105. I think that's it for the day today, guys. I don't really see a reason to stick around and keep trading. Most of you guys in our room are green today. I know Andre and Biggs are green. I don't know who else is in here from this morning, but I know most of you guys are green. All right, guys, I'm going to cut this stream. Those of you guys who just kind of floated in here randomly through YouTube, if you guys want to join the room, hit me up, send me an email or whatever. We can get a game plan going for you guys. But again, my way of trading and my style of trading is a lot different than everyone else. I'm not here to promise like you guys are going to win and make millions of dollars. We got to be realist, got to set realistic expectations, and you got to like set goals. You got to work towards those goals, 1 trade at a time, 5 trades at a time, whatever you need to do. Normally it comes down to position sizing. Normally it comes down to greed, or it comes down to fear. So if your problem's greed, we got to work on that. If your problem is oversizing, well, that's an easy fix. If your problem is fear, we got to work on that over a series of trades by sizing all the way down and just taking trade after trade, and you understanding that, hey, I'm going to lose. Hey, I'm going to win. Hey, it's not that fucking bad, right? It's not that fucking bad. And you keep doing that over and over and over until it gets to a point where it's just natural and second nature to you guys. But anyways, I'm going to catch you guys all later.